Yo, 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 what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video, we're just going to kind of talk about the state of Final Fantasy. But before we go ahead and get into that, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to hit the subscribe button, make sure to leave a comment down below, and make sure to share this video to everyone you know that just needs to know the general state of the realm of Final Fantasy. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's video. And welcome to the video. First and foremost, big shout out to Final Fantasy for being what it is. An amazing MMO. Love the Final Fantasy series all throughout my life. It's all on my left arm. But I think it's time to talk about the state of Final Fantasy XIV and what it has a chance to do leading into Endwalker. So right now, everybody knows Final Fantasy is the MMO of MMOs. It is the most played MMO. It recently broke its own record. And everybody's loving it. We have people all over the world getting into it. China players leaving WoW to come in it. We got just servers getting full capacity. Queue times, not as bad as New Worlds, but there's some queue times every now and then. And Final Fantasy's really doing a solid job. But let's talk about what we've been told recently about Final Fantasy. We were told by Yoshida that this is the most profitable Final Fantasy game ever. Alright, let's pause that. Let's think about what Final Fantasy games we would traditionally think are the best selling. Final Fantasy 7, 8, 10. Like, you've got such legendary titles there, but this one passed it, and that's big. But we also got to think, them were one-time purchases. We have monthly subscriptions on this game, plus we have stuff we can buy from the Mock Station. So this game has multiple ways to pass said Final Fantasy games. Them games did not offer DLC. Them games are the older caliber. You just buy the game and you play it. So that's that. I would like to see its sales stack up to Final Fantasy 7, 8, 10, 10-2. I would love to see how many copies of just base A Realm Reborn sold to Final Fantasy 7 and so on and so forth. I would love to see that number. It being the most profitable, it is 100%, I could agree, it's a thing it could do. Because it has so many revenues it can get cash flow. But we also know that Final Fantasy XIV is about to release an expansion that could forever change MMOs as a whole. It is going to end its story with Hydaelyn and Zodiac, and then pick up another story. So essentially, the story we've been playing for years is coming to an end, and we now get to see the climax of that, as well as look forward to what they might do in the future. And that's a scary thing, because they're ending the story and starting a new one. And we gotta think, how's that gonna look? If we beat all the Ascians and Garleans and take over Garlemald and all that, how does it look? Who the next enemy will be, or what confrontation there'll be, or what's gonna drive the story? Is it gonna be a time skip? Are we gonna go back in time, or are we gonna go forward in time? Or are we just gonna stay in the same current time and something else just happened? Maybe the Ascians are not the only thing out there. There are several things we have to look forward to in this game. But let's not worry about that, because that's after Endwalker. So let's talk Endwalker. What's Endwalker going to do? Well, Endwalker's going to add casual content for everybody that very seriously could be in-game content for casual players. It's going to add a climax to the story. Okay, that's good. I hope they close the story out amazingly. I hope they put a beautiful little tie on it, write a little note for the community, and they give us the best present we ever received. because it'll be around Christmas time. This could be a Christmas present from Yoshida to us. Nobody ever thought about that. That could be his Christmas present for us. Just an amazing overall climax to the story. Then we have job changes, which job changes are given because we have a level cap increase. So the jobs all look amazing. Every one of them look beautiful. Love the animations. They're giving us 2 new jobs, Reaper and Sage. I, for one, know I'm going to main Reaper for a little bit. I might at least try it. I think there's a chance I might try Sage. I really do love the way it looks. Gives me the Gundam vibes, and I'm a big Gundam fan. But it really is going to bring a lot to the game. We've got a little farming thing we're getting. I forget the name of it, but it's got everything we need. And they're looking to better the PvP. So Final Fantasy as a whole right now is just kind of strong. Like, I think it's really in a solid seat right now because it is the most played MMO right now. There's not an MMO in sight that I can touch it. New World was there, but now New World. I knew this was going to happen. And I know people still play New World. I know there's still a bunch of players on it. But that original hype it carried is died down. I think it's having issues right now. So, of course, players are going to look elsewhere to play. But what I mean, Final Fantasy is in driver's seat. You can go to twitch.tv right now and used to Final Fantasy be like 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 people playing. Now it's consistently above 10K. Consistently. Which is good. That means people are watching it, wanting to absorb the content, wanting to be a part of the content. That's really good. We've got content creators. I myself started this year. There are many content creators blowing up. People that have been playing this game forever finally getting the recognition they deserve. Smaller, newer YouTubers being like, hey, I love this game as well. Let me put my content out there. Like, this game is growing. The whole community is growing. And I think that's really good. And I, for one, love the fact that I'm a part of it. And I love the fact that I play a tiny, tiny role in it. But I still play a role in it. And that's the biggest part. It's humbling to know this game is growing. And I'm able to grow with it. And like, I have this board up here. I have goals. I have all that. But honestly, these goals are what I want to hit. But I enjoy making content for this game so much that even if I don't hit these, I'm still going to grind the game. I'm still going to grind the content. These are just to keep me in check and let me know, like, hey, you need to be more consistent, which I think YouTube-wise, I'm consistent. I think there was last week where I uploaded 2 videos, but that was just because, hey, I had spare time. I was on a roll. This brain up here was working. Boy, last week I was in the mojo. But back to the actual Final Fantasy thing. I don't know why I went on them. But the whole state of Final Fantasy is it's growing. It's growing to a size that it is establishing its dominant throne on MMOs. I think looking into the future, you will always look back and be like, Final Fantasy XIV, hands down, one of the best MMOs ever. I think we can say right now, right here, that Final Fantasy will go down as one of the best MMOs to come out. And I'll go out here and make a prediction now. I think Endwalker will be the best MMO expansion to release. And what I mean by that is, once it releases, I think it will take the #1 spot of MMO expansions. Now, that also means in the future, when they decide to release another expansion for the new story, that it will probably overtake Endwalker. Or it might not, because it'll be setting up a story. But I think Endwalker will go down, hands down, the best expansion ever. But I also know saying this drives a lot of hype for the expansion. And a lot of hype for it means that it could let me down. But I'm really just looking for a solid climax, some good job changes. And they've showed me job changes. The only thing I haven't seen is the story, and that's good. And that's another thing. Watch out for the leaks. They're there. There are people leaking stuff. We do not need to see that. So, let that be known. But let's just wrap this video up in a nice little bow and give a synopsis. Pretty much my feelings towards this game right now is Final Fantasy is in such a good spot. It's the most profitable Final Fantasy series game ever. It's the leading MMO right now. The communities are growing. The content creators that deserve recognition are getting recognition. And the game is in a spot before its expansion releases that really could change MMOs as a whole. So now we're going to go into my little end speech on what I plan to do when Endwalker releases. Now that we've talked about everything I want to talk about in this video, I'm now just going to update you on general streaming stuff and content-wise. So, we know Final Fantasy Endwalker is coming November 19th. I will probably not be streaming the story. We'll probably not record YouTube videos on the story quite yet, because I don't want to be the YouTuber streamer that you watched and you're like, okay, I just want to see him enjoy the game and maybe it'll help me enjoy the content, and then it spoils it and you didn't have a fun time with it. I want you to be able to play the game, enjoy it, love it, and then come back and just see my reaction to it, because I feel like the content around that would be better for you than me playing it and being like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Look at all this. I just spoiled all this for you. I want you to come to me and be like, okay, I've played it. I think it's amazing. Let's see what he thinks. So we're going to hold off on doing Endwalker. And that's kind of why I've slowed down on my character right now on going through the story. I don't want to be super caught up and be like, okay, let's play Endwalker. And then stream it, and people are like, oh my God, this is such a good expansion. And then they haven't played it themselves, and I ruin the climax. I want them to enjoy the climax on their own. So with that being said, there's also another game coming out November 19th. And it is a remake of a game, so I want to make content for it. And that is Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I've already pre-ordered it. I've already got it coming. So that is what I will be making YouTube content with and streaming for a little bit. So my streams come November will be a little bit of Final Fantasy, a little bit of Pokemon, and my content will be job reviews, Pokemon videos. We're going to do a playthrough of it. And this will all be on YouTube for my content, and for Streamwise, it will be on twitch.tv/MOG, MOGXII, or no, wait, it's MOG XXI 21, MOG 21. That's pretty much what it is, my birthday. But with that being said, that's today's video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one, and make sure to subscribe. Bye-bye.